Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're kicking things off with something that goes way beyond just the goals and the skills you see.
Yeah, we're talking about what happens between the highlights.
Exactly. The real chess match of football tactics. Our goal today really is to give you a bit of a shortcut, a way to understand that strategic blueprint behind, every single move on the pitch.
That's right, because it's not random. Behind every pass, every run, there's usually a plan, a meticulously crafted one sometimes. That's what turns talented players into a dominant team.
Mm-hmm. And whether you're just, getting into football, watching casually, or maybe you're playing down the park on Sundays.
Doesn't matter the level, really.
Right. We want to give you some of that basic tactical know-how so you can watch, maybe even play with a whole new appreciation. Hopefully by the end, you'll start seeing those little battles, the tactical stuff that often decides who wins. See the game differently.
Yeah, those aha moments when you see why something happened.
So first up, why should we even care about tactics? I mean, isn't it just about the best players winning?
Well, yes and no. Football isn't just 22 people running after a ball, is it? It's a game of space, structure, timing. The teams that consistently win, they don't just play harder, they play smarter.
Smarter, okay.
Think about Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Their dominance, yeah, they have amazing players, but it comes from incredible positioning, knowing exactly where the passing lanes are, controlling the game relentlessly. It's a system that just amplifies all that talent.
Right, the system makes the players even better.
Precisely. And then you've got the other side of the coin. Remember Italy winning the World Cup in 2006?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rock solid.
Exactly. They weren't maybe the most exciting team, not loaded with flair everywhere, but they won through incredible tactical discipline, just unbelievable organization. It showed how a well-drilled unit can beat flashier sides.
So it's not always about flair.
Not at all. And these tactical choices, they basically define how a team plays. Are they going to sit back deep, soak up pressure?
Or are they going to press high, try and win it back near the other team's goal?
Exactly. Are they attacking down the wings, stretching the play, or trying to punch holes through the middle?
Playing keep ball, possession stuff. Or inviting the other team on and hitting them on the counter.
Yeah, all those things. They shape the team's identity. It's their philosophy on the pitch.
That makes sense. So understanding that stuff gives you like a new pair of glasses for watching the game.
It really does.
You're not just watching the ball anymore. You're seeing the strategic fight underneath it all. The brain behind the beauty, kind of.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so with those new glasses on, let's get into some of the fundamentals. Formations first. We always hear those numbers, 4-4-2, 4-3-3. What do they actually mean?
Right. Formations are basically the team's starting shape, their initial structure on the field.
The blueprint.
Sort of, yeah. Take the 4-4-2. That's often seen as the classic English setup. 2 lines of 4 players, pretty solid defensively, and then 2 strikers up top.
Like old Man United teams or Arsenal back in the day.
Exactly like that. It's solid, compact. Its challenge can sometimes be creating width naturally, unless your wide midfielders really push on.
Okay. What about the 4-3-3 then? Seems more common now.
Yeah, definitely more modern. Think Barcelona, Liverpool. It gives you more natural width usually with the front 3 spread out. It supports a high press better often and suits teams that want to attack and keep the ball.
Designed to stretch the other team out.
Pretty much, yeah. Overwhelm them across the pitch.
And you mentioned a 3-5-2 as well. That sounds quite different.
It is. You've got 3 central defenders, so it's inherently quite solid in the middle. But the key, the absolute key, is the wingbacks.
Right, the players on the sides?
Yeah. They have to cover the entire flank, up and down, defending, attacking, providing all the width. They need incredible engines. Antonio Conte used it really well with Inter Milan, showed how vital those wingbacks are.
Okay, so the formation's the starting shape, but players move, obviously. It's not static.
Not at all. That's where the real game is, how players move within and sometimes outside of that structure. And that brings us to things like pressing and positioning.
Right. Let's talk pressing. What is it exactly?
Pressing is all about how a team defends when they don't have the ball. A famous example is Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool and their gegenpressing.
I heard that term a lot.
Yeah. It's not just running around wildly. It's about immediately, like the instant they lose the ball, putting pressure on the opponent who just won it.
Why?
The aim is to force a mistake quickly. Win the ball back, high up the pitch, close to their goal, and boom, you've got a scoring chance before they've even had a chance to breathe or get organized.
Wow, sounds intense and exhausting.
Oh, it is. Incredibly demanding physically.
So would a team ever like decide not to press like that, even if it's their usual style, maybe against certain teams or if they're tired?
That's a really good point. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gauge pressing is brilliant, but it takes a huge toll. So a team might ease off if they're playing against opponents who are really, really good at passing under pressure.
Like they might just get picked off.
Exactly. Or if they've had a run of tough games, maybe midweek European match, they might need to conserve energy. So yeah, it's a strategic choice. You adapt.
Makes sense. And positioning, you mentioned that too.
Positioning is more about controlling space. It's the art of where you stand without the ball, not just when you have it. A team with good positioning doesn't just chase.
What do they do then?
They move together almost like on a string to close down passing lanes, to make the opponent run into dead ends, limit their options. It's about making the pitch feel small for the other team.
Setting traps.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah, exactly. And good positioning also means when you do win the ball back, you're already in good spots to start an attack quickly. Smooth transition.
Okay, so even if you're just starting to get into tactics, understanding these basics, the formation shapes, the idea of pressing, controlling space with positioning, that starts to unlock why things happen, right? Not just what happened.
Absolutely. You start seeing the patterns, the intentions behind the movements. It's like the lines on the pitch suddenly have more meaning.
Right. So we've got the basics down. But football never stands still, does it? Tactics evolve.
Constantly. And that leads to some really interesting, innovative player rules we see now. Things that maybe didn't exist or weren't common 20 years ago.
Like what? Give us an example.
Okay, let's start with the false nine.
False nine. Okay. So a striker who's not really a striker.
Kind of. Instead of staying up high, battling the center backs, the false nine deliberately drops deeper into the midfield area.
Why would they do that? Leave the goal undefended.
But that's the genius of it. It creates a dilemma, a real headache for the opposition's central defenders. Do they follow the false nine into midfield?
If they do, they leave a big hole at the back.
Exactly. Space for wingers or midfielders to run into, or does the defender stay put?
Then the false nine is just free in midfield, like an extra player.
Precisely. Creating an overload. It disrupts the whole defensive structure. It's a total mind game, forcing the defenders into making a decision they don't want to make.
Messi under Guardiola at Barca is the classic example, isn't it?
The absolute classic. He wasn't a big physical presence up top, but dropping deep caused chaos. It was like you say, a grandmaster setting a trap. You could almost see defenders thinking, wait, what do I do now?
Brilliant. Okay, what else is new?
Then you have inverted fullbacks.
Inverted fullbacks. Okay, so fullbacks usually run up and down the wings, right? Providing width.
Traditionally, yes, they hug the touchline. But inverted fullbacks, when their team has the ball, they drift inwards into the central midfield areas. Think Juan Cancelo again, often under Guardiola.
Interesting. Why do that? Doesn't that clog up the middle?
It can seem like that, but the idea is to create that numerical advantage, that overload in the center of the park, helps control possession, gives more passing options.
But what about the wings then? Who covers that space?
That's the tactical adjustment. It often means the wingers have to stay wider to provide the width. Or maybe the team plays narrower overall, but it forces the opposition to make choices again. Do they squash in centrally to deal with the overload, leaving space out wide? Or do they stay wide and risk getting outnumbered in the middle?
So it's about creating these problems for the opposition.
Exactly. Spatial dilemmas, making them constantly adjust.
Okay, so if you're using inverted fullbacks, that must change how the whole team defends too, right? When you lose the ball.
Oh, absolutely. Those fullbacks are now starting from a central position, so they have further to run to get back into a traditional wide defensive spot if the ball's lost out wide.
So the midfielders, the center backs, they have to be ready to cover those spaces immediately.
Yes. The whole system has to be incredibly well coached and synchronized to handle those transitions smoothly. Otherwise, you can get caught out wide quite easily.
Makes sense. Okay, one more.
Let's talk playmaking center backs.
Right. Defenders who aren't just about tackling anymore.
Exactly. Gone are the days when most center backs were just expected to head it and kick it. Now you have players like, say, Emerick Laporte, Virgil van Dijk. They're crucial for starting attacks.
How so?
They need to be comfortable on the ball, able to step out of defense, and most importantly, capable of playing accurate, penetrating passes that break the opposition's lines of pressure.
So passing through the midfield line directly to the attackers.
Yeah, or maybe switching the play with long diagonal balls, launching counterattacks from deep. Italy's Leonardo Bonucci was a master of this for years reading the game, then pinging these incredible long passes.
So defenders are basically attackers now too.
In a way, yeah. The overall trend is towards this hybrid nature of positions. Everyone needs to be able to defend to some extent. Everyone needs to be comfortable on the ball and contribute to the attack. Physicality is still vital, but tactical intelligence, understanding space and movement, it's becoming just as important for every player. The lines are really blurring.
Which brings us nicely to that big question, that debate you always hear. What actually wins games? Is it the brilliant individual talent, or is it the tactical system?
The age-old question. And the truth, well, it's probably a bit boring. It's both. Obviously, you need talented players.
Of course.
But, and this is the key point, tactics can maximize that talent. Put players in positions where their skills shine brightest. Or, just as importantly, tactics can nullify the opponent's talent.
How so?
A really well-organized, tactically smart team can shut down a superstar opponent, deny them space, double-team them, force them into areas where they're less dangerous. So a brilliant player can be stifled if the tactical plan against them is better than the plan they're playing within.
Okay, so tactics can level the playing field a bit.
Definitely. Think about Greece winning Euro 2004.
Yeah, massive shock. Nobody saw that coming.
Exactly. They didn't have the most star-studded squad, not by a long shot, but they had an incredibly solid 4-5-1 formation, unbelievable defensive discipline, everyone knew their job. It wasn't luck. It was brilliant tactical planning and execution that overcame teams with, on paper, far more individual talent.
Proved you don't need the best players, maybe just the best plan for the players you have.
Precisely. And you see it all the time in cup competitions, right?
Yeah.
Smaller clubs knocking out giants.
Yeah, the magic of the cup.
Well, it often feels like magic, but it's rarely just luck or the big team having an off day. It's usually down to that smaller club having a really smart tactical plan. They've done their homework, identified weaknesses, and they stick rigidly to a game plan designed specifically to cause problems for that opponent. It's the underdog's edge.
That makes so much sense. And it connects back to why understanding this stuff matters for us, for you listening, because even the most talented player needs the right system around them to really flourish. So for players, understanding tactics helps you make better decisions on the pitch. And for us fans, it adds another layer, doesn't it? You start appreciating the game's depth, the intelligence behind it all. You see the chess match unfolding.
You really do. It unlocks a whole new level of enjoyment, I think.
So let's wrap this up. We've covered a lot today. Fundamentally, tactics are the strategic brain behind the beauty, the skill, the drama of football.
Yeah, we talked about those foundational things. Formations, setting the shape, pressing to win the ball back, positioning to control space.
And then those evolving modern roles like the false nine messing with defenders, inverted fullbacks popping up in midfield, center backs starting attacks.
All these elements shape how the game is played and how we understand it.
So the challenge for you now, the next time you sit down to watch a match, try putting on that tactical lens we talked about.
Yeah, don't just follow the ball. Ask yourself, okay, why is that player pressing right there, right now? What shape is the team holding when they lose the ball versus when they have it?
How are they trying to create space? Or how are they trying to deny it to the opposition?
Once you start spotting those things, asking those questions,
You'll never watch football the same way again, promise. It just clicks, and you see this whole other game happening beneath the surface.
absolutely, it becomes even more fascinating.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into this deep dive on tactics. We really enjoyed getting into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, it's been great fun. Hope you found it useful.
If you did enjoy it, please do follow us for more deep dives. We'll be back with more tactical breakdowns, maybe some football history, perhaps even some training insights down the line.
Lots more to explore.
Definitely. So until next time, keep watching, keep learning, and keep loving the beautiful game.